So I had to do some work on the old TJ. I had to take the transfer case out, put a slip yoke eliminator on. You don't need to know all that. But while doing it, I tore out this thing because I hate these things. And if you don't know, this is the shifter linkage for the transfer case. It's garbage, especially once you lift your Jeep. It changes geometry or puts it in a funky bind where it's not really reliable. On my XJ, I've got ASSI shifters. They work great. On the TJ, even though I followed the instructions for the TJ and had to push this little pin out to get it at a different angle, I still didn't like it. It looked makeshift, haphazard. When I tried shifting it in and out, it worked. Most of the times, it bound a little bit. I wasn't happy with it. Works great on the XJ. On the TJ, I couldn't get it to work. I don't know if I was doing something wrong. So I'm not gonna slam ASSI. And this isn't even ASSI. This is the Amazon knockoff because I didn't want to waste $80 on ASSI if I wasn't sure it was gonna work. Because I really couldn't find any information. When you Google ASSI shifter, and 99 of them come up XJ. So they work great on the XJ. I've done it twice. Perfect. So my next plan of action was the Novak cable, or this is a Savvy brand, but I think it's the same thing. They're like $150. A little bit pricey for a bicycle gear shift cable, but they're a little beefier than that, but a little bit pricey. It comes with all the bracketry you need. Amazon sells them $50. I didn't want to chance it because, buy once, cry once. On the XJ, it's easy to get to the ASSI shifter. On the TJ, it's a little more in depth. I got to take the skid plate off. They say you can do it with the skid plate on, but I have to take it off anyhow to put my front drive shaft back in. I got it all tore apart anyhow, so we're going to put it in. We'll see how it goes. I like how it feels beefy, so I like that. Didn't come with instructions. You can find it. I couldn't find too much on the Savvy brand cable, but the Novak cable, which looks exactly like this, you can find a lot of instructions on it. I think Novak cable, Advanced Adapters, I think has a good instructions on how to install it. But if you're like me, you don't read shit, so let's go. All right, so first things first, this bracket goes on the body of the Jeep, and one that came off had rubber grommets in here to kind of seal the weather from coming in. There's the holes for it right there. So I'm gonna see if I can pull the rubber off of the ones we have. See if we can use it. If not, I'll have to go to Lowe's and get some rubber washers because I really don't want water sprayed up in there, and I don't know. It's a Jeep. If you notice, there's no carpet in here because it's easier to just take everything out that can get wet and just let the water flow through it like a river. Yeah, so looking at this thing, I don't think it'll work. It's got like a metal insert in it. I'm just gonna go with some silicone. Yeah, we'll get that bad boy all sealed up. What I'm going to do is stick a bolt through there. I'm going to take this one out and put a washer on it. That's just in there so I can get the bracket on in place, I think. We're going to try it. Second set of hands will probably make this a whole lot easier. I ain't got no friends. Nobody loves me. Alright, so after several minutes of liberating, it looks like, oh my god, I almost knocked the jack holding the transmission up off. It looks like it goes up with this thing up like this, so we're going to try it. Alright, so I decided to go with some black RTV since my Jeep's kind of dark. Just going to goop a little RTV around the hole. If you got your carpet, you don't have to be careful about how it looks. Just a little bit around the hole. Washer on there. Just put a little goop in the center. And just stick the bolt through it. There. I'm comfortable with that, how sealed it is. Put them on there. The bolts are very loosely on there. I gotta put a set of vice grips on the other side. Alright, so right here on this bolt and this one up here is a factory bracket that looks sort of like this. But you take that off if you still have it and put it on. This looks a lot easier to deal with than that factory bracket. A 9/16 or 14 millimeter. 14 millimeter seems to get it pretty good. Yep, there's only one way to put it on. Fits perfect. I don't know what torque specs are on this, but I don't think I can get a torque wrench in there. So I'm just gonna... Yeah. All right. In order to install a cable, I gotta take just one nut off each end, like that. So each end looks like that. Make sure this nut is about in the middle, because this will be your adjustment. The instructions I've seen online showed to use the old transfer case linkage like this, but this kit came with that, and this clevis fits in there perfect. So we're gonna try that. Let me pull the parking brake, because once I pull this wrench, it's gonna shift the Jeep into neutral. Alright, so yeah, what'd I tell you? There. I like that better. Let's see how that does. Alright, so there's back in the too high, or so now we just run our cable like this. Tell you what, let's put the top one in first. That might be easier. I think both ends are the same on this thing. Okay, so here we go. And worst case scenario, we'll be putting the old trunnion back on if we have to. And let's put that in there like this. All right. There. We'll give it a try. That's easy to do. So let's put the nut on it. .24 millimeter. I think it was 24. It might have been 22. I'm pretty sure 24 millimeter wrench fits it. I don't have a spanner wrench that fits it, so I got out the redneck speed wrench, and I'll just snug it down. Alright. There's like no room to get the thing on. Yeah, there's barely. If you had to get it from the passenger side, you can. Slides in easy that way. Two wheel or two high. 4 high, neutral, 4 low. Man, shifts a lot easier than it did before. Not as... I've heard of people doing it with one finger, but you know what? My transfer case is probably all jacked up, so we're gonna call this a win. So, I don't know if you can see it up on this one. The inside is a 3/8. And I'm assuming the top is a 1/2 inch. Let's see if we can get it from this way. On this bottom one, it's 11 millimeter, and I just stick a screwdriver in there to kind of take the pressure off of it. Alright, so there you have it. It's been a couple of weeks now. I've been driving it around town, doing a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot, but shifting it into 4-wheel drive just to see if it still works, and it's been doing good. Novak, Savvy, Cable, I think they're both the same. Pretty straightforward through, and it's fairly easy to do. On the XJ, I would think it would be very simple to do because you can get to everything right there. On the TJ, a little bit harder because you got to take the transmission cross member / pan off, and I have my drive shaft already out. I think you can do it with the front drive shaft in. You know, 4 bolts and it's out. If it's easier to do, you don't have to take the whole drive shaft off. Just take the end off by the transfer case. But you know, if you go that far, you might as well replace the U-joints, and then, you know, one thing leads to another, yada yada yada, new Jeep. Got some time to kill? Check out my podcast, 7-Minute Off-Road Podcast. Blah, 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 blah. There'll be a card for it up here somewhere. And if that don't put you to sleep, check out one of these other fine videos right here. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe and all that other good jazz. And thanks for watching.